Hey everyone, hope you're all well. I know it's been a long time since I've produced any videos on the channel. It's been a good few months and I'm really sorry about that, but here I am aiming to get back to a regular video schedule and releasing content for you. So if you're new around here, thanks for tuning in, and if you're a regular subscriber, I do apologise for the lack of content, but let's get back to it. Right, I want to start by casting your minds back to the last video, and if you haven't watched that, you can go and see that. But basically that video was about me explaining to you how I was changing things up a little bit, and I was taking more of a hybrid athlete approach to my training, focusing in on like strength training, getting stronger, and my running. Now, it's fair to say that I've been doing that right up to this point, right up to the end of January, whereas now I've kind of taken a more traditional triathlon training approach. And this video is going to give you a chance to find out what I've been up to, but also put things into perspective of where we are now. You might be interested to know that my first race, my first triathlon this year, is actually much earlier than I've ever raced before. It's in April, it's in 10 weeks time, and I'm going to be heading out to Valencia in Spain to take on the 70.3 over there. Now, since September, the training that I've been doing has been pretty consistent. I've been going to the gym 4 times a week. I've been carrying out really specific work in that gym, following a program where it's been applying progressive overload. And I've been doing a little bit of work on my run as well, trying to build that back with a couple of swims chucked in and a little bit of biking. That's been me pretty much up to the end of January. So physically, I've never felt this strong. In fact, I know that because of what I'm doing in the gym. I'm certainly pushing a lot more, I'm lifting a lot more heavier weight, and that is probably because I've done some dedicated time and specific work around that kind of development. I don't know, do I see physical changes in my body? Possibly, but it's hard for me to sort of notice that because I see myself every day. But one of the things I do recognise and I do see is when I step onto the scales and I'm 8 or 9 kilos heavier than what I used to be. And that probably is a sort of show to me that there is some probably, muscle development within my body. Over the last few months, I was tracking my weight pretty religiously to begin with, but that dropped off pretty quickly. Now, why, you might be thinking? Well, quite simply, as I was stepping on the scales every week, I was noticing that my weight would either go up a little bit, and then some weeks it might drop off a bit, and then it would go up again, and some weeks it would be the same. But overall, what I was sort of seeing was this sort of pattern where it was rising, dropping off, but gradually going up over time. So to me, it was a bit pointless trying to track it every single week, and I was doing it every couple of weeks then. So where are we up to in my weight now? Well, it's pretty much stabilised. I'm hovering around 67 to 68 kilos, and I'm hoping to stay around that. And it'll be interesting to see how that fluctuates throughout the season, because one of the problems I've had in the past is if I put a little bit of weight on in the off season, I usually lose it pretty quickly, and I hover around 60 to 61 kilos, which is pretty light. But I want to see this year what racing a little bit heavier does for me, what the impact will be in, the work that I've spent and time I've spent in the gym, building a little bit more robustness to my body, and whether that will serve me well. And I guess really, we will have to wait and see as to what that does. But the aim for me is not to lose or drop any of the weight, and to keep eating well and eating more than what I have been doing in the past. Because I think that's one of the main things that I needed to really consider. And currently, now my weight training has dropped to 3 times a week as I start to build in a little bit more bike work. Right, I've got to admit to you though that initially when I started this lifting and running program, it took some time for my body to adapt to be able to run on fatigued legs. My legs were just shot all the time, DOMs, just knackered, achy, and then trying to run on them, it just took some time for them to adjust. I couldn't do any hard bike workouts on top of that as well. It was just impossible. Every time I tried a hard bike work, it would just bin because my legs were just trash all the time. And I suppose that's the proof and shows you that you can't train every single thing. It's just impossible. And it's good to have different focuses at different points of the year. And that's why my gym workouts now have dropped to 3 a week, but they are going to go to 2 from next week on, as I get deeper and deeper into triathlon specific training. Now, the other thing I'm going to be honest with is I've had to deal with a few health issues, and this channel has always been transparent and open to you. And yeah, they're nothing major things, but I had some blood work done a little while ago. I think I mentioned that in a previous video, and there was some sort of results I had to deal with some of those. One of them being around sports anemia. Yeah. And then I've had this ongoing back issue since since the summer, really, since just before September, in the end of August time. And that's hampered my training a little bit, particularly in the gym, because I've had to be really careful. So yeah, I don't know, I suppose I'm just getting old, guys, and that's probably something to do with it. Now, moving forward, I am aiming to put a really good consistent stint of triathlon training together. I also want to continue my run development and the workouts that I've been doing in the gym. I've really enjoyed these. These are going to be more maintenance stuff now. I won't be lifting too heavy because you just can't do that with all the other stuff. The other thing I haven't done this year is run a marathon. The last few years I've done that, and I felt that it's given me a really good run base. The good thing is I haven't had any run injuries, touch wood, fingers crossed, probably because I haven't used so much load in the body and in on my legs. Will I do any racing for the marathon, half marathon? I don't know, maybe at the end of the year. And I was planning on doing a half marathon before the season started, but I'm not sure I will now. I don't think I've got the time, and I'm trying to limit the intensity, particularly with my back, which I'll go into in another video. Right, guys, I'm going to leave this video here, and hopefully now that's given you a bit of perspective and brought us up to speed with everything. And in fact, I'm going to be recording another video right now because I want to get ahead and with the schedule of things on the channel. So thanks for tuning in again. Let's get this show on the road again. Let's get this party started, and I will see you all very soon in the next one.